Hey everybody, so in this video we're going to lay the groundwork for two different types of applications, and then in class we'll do examples of those applications. So the first application we're going to talk about is bearings. So bearings is a method of giving directions. Okay, and the directions are given as an angle in degrees. Okay. So the angle is going to be given as east or west. Okay, of the initial direction. Okay, which is north or south. Okay, so this sounds pretty confusing, but the examples are something like 40 degrees. Oh, sorry. So it would be like north 40 degrees east. Okay. And so what that means is that we would start by looking at basically a compass, okay? And we're going to start by looking at where the north line is. And then we're going to go 40 degrees to the east. So the 40 degrees is going to be this angle here, okay? Now this is different than what we see when we talk about reference triangles, right? A reference triangle would never go to the y-axis, but bearings are not the same as reference triangles, so you'll see that they do go to the y-axis. Okay. You can also have something that's like south 20 degrees west, okay? So again, you would start by looking at just a compass, okay? So it's going to start by looking at the south line, and then we're going to go 20 degrees to the west. Okay, so again, this is going to be our 20-degree angle, and it's not going to look the same as a reference triangle because it's going to be going to the north-south line. Okay, so that's how bearings work, and we're going to talk about some examples that have to do with bearings in class. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about two other definitions that we need for our examples. Okay, so we're going to talk about the angle of elevation. Okay, so the angle of elevation is an angle up from a horizontal, right, a flat horizontal to an indicated object. Okay, so we might say something like the angle of elevation from the ground to the top of the pole was 30 degrees, okay? So what that means is that you have this horizontal reference of the ground, okay? And then you have a slanted angle pointing up to the top of a pole, okay? And this angle here is going to be our angle 30 degrees. Okay, so it's up from the horizontal reference to the top of the pole. Okay, so there's another way to describe something extremely similar. Okay, so let's look at what's called the angle of depression. Okay, so the angle of depression is the angle from a flat horizontal down to an indicated object. So if we look at an example, okay, so we have the angle of depression from the top of a tree to the ground is 70 degrees. Okay, so here's our tree. Okay, and then we have the ground. Now, if we're saying that the angle is from the top of the tree, then the horizontal that we're talking about is from the top of the tree. So then the angle that we're looking at is going to be this one that points down to a fixed point on the ground, okay? And this angle here would be our angle of depression, okay? So it's not this angle and it's not this angle. This is the most common mistake, is that students will put it here, but it's the angle from the flat horizontal at the top down to that fixed point, wherever that is. Okay, so we're going to talk about applications of those next time when I see you in class, so I will see you there.